Every time I knock someone down, oh, they just throw me, and it's just, oh, I hate it. I hate it so much. This game is unfair. What the hell? If you've ever sounded like that, and Lord knows I have, this video might be for you. Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Guilty Gear. Today we're going to be talking all about the wake up throw and just throws in general and a little bit about Oki and meaties. If you aren't familiar with any of the terms, you can always check in Filament's glossary. There'll be a link in the description below to that so you can go and find it. But you can also ask in the comments and people and myself will be sure to answer quickly if I use a term that you don't understand. I've got Sol and Gio here, and you might have seen this situation before. You get a knockdown, you run up, and oh! I was trying to meaty them, but they threw me out of it. I'll try again. Oh! I get thrown again. There's a couple of reasons why this is happening, but we need to go into, the nuts and bolts of what's going on. So, what the hell is a throw in this game? Well, first and foremost, historically, reversal throw has been a thing in Guilty Gear. Throws used to be done using the heavy button, not the dust button, and a direction. It's basically let the game automatically choose between throwing someone or basically doing 6H, for example, if you pressed forward and heavy, or just a standard heavy if you are pressing back. Because heavies are often slow buttons, this can be quite a dangerous thing, but if they're close to you, then you will throw them, and if not, you will attack them, and so you get this nice little option select available for you. In this game, however, they've changed up the rules. Now we use dust to throw, and it's dust in the direction, and you actually whiff throws. You didn't used to do this in previous Guilty Gear games. What this means is that when you do a wake-up throw and you miss it, well, you are very vulnerable. You're even put into this long recovery with counter-hit state, which means your opponent can get big combos and big damage. The other thing that changed was that throws used to be frame 1, so they were pretty much instantaneous, unreactable, unblockable. They are still unreactable. No one can react to a 2-frame move. It's impossible. You can't do it. You can't react and reversal a throw. You have to be predictive with it. This also means throws are still an incredible tool for whenever there are gaps in your offense. People will use reversal throw to punish you if you are leaving gaps, and rightly so. It's a powerful tool against that kind of thing, and especially for characters with no very quick buttons. Milia, I'm looking at you. It's a godsend button. People will use throw to get out of fiddly situations. So I've set Sol up to block, to throw after recovering from block. So as Gio, there's a dirty thing you can do, which is you do close slash, you dash forward and go for a throw, but hey, there's a big gap there, so he's going to be able to throw me out of that pressure. If I walk backwards ever so slightly, though, he will whiff doing this, and hey, I can get a punish for it. So it's not like there's not options against this kind of behavior. But let's go back to the wake-up throw, and let's talk about how to beat this powerful tool. The first, most powerful, and most important tool is to just time your meaties better. You can absolutely hit people out of this. This is not unbeatable. As long as you have an active frame, an active move over their body when they wake up, you will be able to blow them up out of this. Now, the timing on this, it can be a little bit fiddly, it can be a little bit difficult, it can be a little bit tricky. But with enough practice, you can get it down perfectly every single time. It is not that difficult to time out. And sure, you might make a mistake every now and then, especially if you're flustered or you're rushing towards, if you get a knockdown and you're all the way back here and you rush forward, you might time it badly. It's extremely important to learn how to time your meaties properly, and it's very, 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 very worth practicing. The reason being as well is that people doing reversals, and I know Giovanna's DP isn't a true reversal, but stick with me here. People doing reversal DPs and reversal supers oftentimes will mistime their inputs as well, leaving 1 or 2 frame gaps where they can actually get hit by it. If it doesn't come up saying reversal like that near their name, then there was an opportunity for you to stuff them out of it. When it says reversal like that, there is no opportunity to stuff them out of it, except for one option we'll talk about later. Aside from just timing your meaties better, there are plenty of other options to deal with the wake-up throw. The first is just simply don't be there. As long as you're out of range, they will whiff the throw every single time. Now, a savvy opponent will also realize that, hey, you're standing like 2 feet away, and so you will be able to just blow them up for it, and hey, you can get a combo. We can make this a little bit more elaborate by walking towards them and then walking back. This is what people refer to as a shimmy. It's a super important technique in Street Fighter, but basically it's made its way to Guilty Gear, and it's very powerful here as well. You can do a shimmy by walking forward and just walking back. You can also do it by backdashing, but I'd be a little bit careful with the backdash. The reason being is if you are timing a shimmy for the punish for the throw, you can often backdash without having the invulnerability frames that backdash gives you, and sometimes get hit by some of the bigger DPs. I'm dodging Sol here, but Leo could definitely catch you, for example. A lot of reversal supers might catch you as well. The backdash shimmy, I'm not a huge fan of. I just prefer walking backwards myself. Before you ask, why don't you shimmy every single time? This is why. Sweeps, big low-hitting moves will always be the shimmy because you need to walk backwards. You need to move backwards. Even with a back dash, you will basically put yourself in a position where you can probably be hit low out of it. So sweeps, big lows, always going to be a good way to get out of that. Also, if they know you're doing a shimmy, they can just wake up, backdash, or they can wake up and even run at you and try and throw you. So the shimmy is not without its risks. The next option we are going to talk about is, well, the Scrub Killer. Jumping on their wake up. Now, people who watch my streams will have seen me berate someone who likes to fight me a lot, which is NC Conroy. He loves fighting against me and has developed this habit as a way of just avoiding any kind of Oki, which is to jump on people's wake up. This is fine, but dangerous. Because in the event that he does something different, this can cost us a lot. Basically, while we can get a good punish off this and actually convert this into a lot of damage and probably get a guaranteed wall break every single time this happens, this also leaves us vulnerable to a bunch of different things. First of all, if I knock him down, jump, and he just backdashes, then we can effectively reset to neutral or reset to a position where the soul can fight back. You've just given up a huge amount of advantage just by jumping instead of meeting properly. So he just backdashes, and maybe we can catch him, maybe we can't, depending on what he wants to do. There we go, he's out. Giving up your advantage is never a good idea. We want to try and hold on to that with a death grip as much as possible, so by doing this, we are basically banking on him going for the reversal throw and trying to get a punish out of it. What I will say is both the jump option and both the, stand back option are reads. You're basically committing to the idea that they are going to press a button on wake up when you go for the backdash, and you're basically committing to the idea that they are going to go for a throw when you go for the jump. If they go for a DP, for example, and you're jumping, even if you're jump blocking, you'll just be bounced out and you'll be back to neutral. Not ideal. You might be thinking, well, why not give them a taste of their own medicine and try and throw them? A couple of reasons why not. First of all, this is very difficult to time. Second, when you knock someone down, you actually can't throw them for a few frames. No, I've never seen a clear answer on the specific amount of frames. I've heard it's like 5 frames. There's like a big window where you can't throw people. But basically, you've definitely encountered this if you played enough Guilty Gear. You've tried to throw people on their wake up and you can't. Same is also true just coming out of block stun. There is always a little bit of a window where people are throw immune. You can't just put someone in block stun and then throw them immediately after. And you can't even do it with hit stun as well. You can see he's completely safe for a few frames. This is just to stop throws becoming completely obnoxious. And yeah, you just have to you basically commit to a throw when you think they're going to be blocking. If you do want to throw people on wake up, especially with characters like Giovanna who can cancel their forward dashes, always go for the close slash or just some kind of fast button first, then go for the throw. Same with tick throws. Move that puts them in very tiny amounts of hit stun, lets you move in and then grab them. Tick throws in this game are quite dangerous because oftentimes hitting moves like 5p will actually leave you negative. They expect you to cancel out of this or just to jab people out until you are safe. So just be a little bit careful, but tick throws still useful. Kai has a great one with his kick, for example. He'll just put you in tons of active frames, but you recover pretty quickly. He can come out and throw you very fast. You'll see Kais do that quite a lot. In short, throwing people on their wake up is a read. You are conditioning them to block on their wake up, and then you are going to throw them. There is, of course, one other situation where it's very powerful, and that is naturally when you've knocked them down and they are going to go for a reversal. The timing on this is a little bit specific. I'm not the greatest at it. I actually need to practice this myself. My advice with the wake up throw as someone who just got hit by a million DPs is that it is later than you think. It's definitely a tricky timing, worth practicing. I'm probably going to have to practice this for a good while, judging from the results of today's video. You definitely have to wait a lot longer than you think. With wake up throw, you are making a hard read. You are basically deciding that they are going to wake up pressing a button, they are going to wake up pressing a DP, or they are going to wake up and block. It definitely has its uses, it's very powerful, but just be careful and know that it is a weaker option than if they go for a wake up throw. There is an exception, of course, that is if your character has a command grab. Again, the timing on this is a little bit tricky, but I have Geo to wake up throw here. As long as I time my wild throw right, the wild throw will always beat her attempt at a wake up throw. I don't know the timing of this, I'm not a Soul player, so I'm probably going to get hit by a lot of throws, but again, you can absolutely practice this. Wow, that was weird. Whoops. But effectively, you can use a command grab to beat someone wake up throwing quite a lot, and if you think they are going to wake up throw, this is definitely a stronger way of doing it. If you go for a throw on their wake up throw, oftentimes you'll either just lose, or alternatively, you will just tech the throw, and you will bounce back to neutral. Again, we don't want to bounce back to neutral, we want to retain our advantage. You knock someone down, you want to get some juice out of that, you want some power out of that. Let's recap quickly, just to make sure that I haven't missed anything as well. So, Wake Up Throw is a common Guilty Gear option. It's not going to go away, don't expect it to be patched out. This will stick around, so learning how to beat it is very important. Throws in this game are extremely fast, you will not be able to react to them, so you have to be predictive about them. No one can react to 2 frames, don't think that you can. The best option to beat someone mashing Wake Up Throw is just to time your meaties properly. Once you get that down, then you will be blowing people up who try and mash this constantly. They are using throws to get out of your pressure, on the other hand. That's a different story entirely, and that's something we might need to talk about in a separate video. But basically, leave a gap, let them hang themselves, have a good thick button. Geo's heavy, for example, is like a nice, thick, long-reaching button that will explode people on counter hit. So if they do whiff a throw, you get this nice big follow-up, lots of damage, feels good, man. If you think they'll wake up throwing a lot and you don't really want to risk timing the meaty, shimmy and jump are an option. Just understand that these are quite hard reads. Shimmies are powerful as well because the game has absolutely conditioned people, like especially if you're a fast character like Geo and you have good ground speed, you can absolutely just run in and force them to whiff. Very, very reliably with characters like Geo, Sol, Kai, like anyone with those fast move speeds, you can punish people for doing this. Jumping is more powerful as a call-out because you can get a little bit more damage out of it usually, but it is a very specific call-out, and once people realize that you're doing it, they can wake up, jump, throw you, for example. They can wake up and backdash, or they can just wake up and try and reset to neutral as best they can. Be very careful doing it. It's strong, but don't use it as a catch-all option. People will, at higher levels, start finding ways to punish that behavior. Wake up command grab. Running up and using a command grab as your meaty is absolutely an option. Just understand that you have to time it very, very well, and if you do it successfully, you will beat their throw attempt. You will also probably beat their attempt if they go for a reversal as well, because it counts as a throw. Using your throw as a meaty option is a recipe for disaster, simply because they will you will either tech their throw, or if they are not pressing a button, you will probably whiff. Make sure that if you want to try and do something like a throw on Wake Up, you are either trying to read a DP, you are trying to read their throw and reset to neutral, in which case, why wouldn't you just shimmy? Why wouldn't you just hit a proper meaty? Why wouldn't you just jump? If you are making that kind of call out, you have better options available. Or you are making a hard read that they will block, in which case you have other options as well, such as tick throws. So, for example, this out of Geo is very powerful, where you just use close slash, command dash out of it, and you can throw them immediately after, or you can just walk up and throw as well. Tick throws have their uses in this game. If you think they're going to block, this is a good way of just making sure that you're not whiffing those throws on enemy wake up. I guess the final thing, while we're on the subject of throws, that we should talk about is the idea of RCing throws. If you are going to roam and cancel a throw, you need to have some kind of very clear plan out of it. You don't really want to get into the habit of doing this, because effectively, what you might see, for example, is if we look at just Geo's neutral throw, I'm getting 82 damage. I have 50% meter at the moment, so Geo is getting a slight damage buff. I think a lot of throws do 75-ish to 80 damage. When you RC a throw, the damage scaling on it is massive. You are not going to get a huge amount of more damage out of it, so what you want to look for specifically is some kind of specific follow-up. You want to make sure that you're doing this for a reason. That reason is usually to get something like a wall break, so you're converting meter into more meter generation, or it's to try and get a kill. You are looking to finish someone off, and so you're trying to maximize your damage potential. If you are mid-screen and someone has RC'd a throw, and you have burst, honestly, I sometimes just let the combo rock if I have enough hit points to soak the damage, because there are probably better things for me to burst in terms of damage. This is not going to scale me massively. There are exceptions. If there are characters who are particularly dangerous in the corner and they're trying to put you in the corner, for example, but make sure you have a specific plan. If you are seeing a throw, there are better things to spend your meter on. Hopefully this video has demystified throws in some way for you, and hopefully it's cleared up some of the ideas behind why it's powerful. I'm going to finish on the message that I started with, which is that the reversal throw, the fast throw, the defensive throw in this game is absolutely a core mechanic and will not be going anywhere. Don't resist it, don't fight it, don't think that if you whine enough about it, it will somehow go away or change meaningfully. I think this 2-frame throw is going to stay here forever, so get used to the idea and get working with it and get working against it. You can generate plans against it and we can absolutely beat it. If you have learned anything, feel free to drop the video a like. It's massively appreciated. It does help out massively. Otherwise, thank you for watching to the end. I've been Josh, just one voice amongst many, and I'll see you in the next one. Toodaloo.